Hey guys, this is Seth here with another video rambling about things that I randomly ramble about. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, usually when I ramble on about something, typically there's usually a big subject of note. Um, like, Usually there's a reason that I'm doing this. Usually something major in the news and stuff like that. And, well, that's exactly what we have here. Some more IDW Sonic news came out, and I just wanted to randomly talk about and just, I don't know, talk. Because there's one thing I tend to do a lot of when something breaks out, is that I go for like 10, 20 minutes just rambling. But in this case, I don't even think it was but a few days after I talked about the Facebook group, IDW's Facebook group, that they actually confirmed, they made their first major announcement. It was not what we were expecting. It was not the solicitations, although there is an increasingly people are speculating that we may be getting some solicitations tomorrow, as of this video's well, technically later today, because I'm recording this early in the morning on the 17th. But nevertheless, let me the actual focus of the point of the video. IDW made a post. I actually have it up. So they said, "What's up, Sonic Comics Squad? We're here to show off one of the official covers for issue #1 of IDW's Sonic the Hedgehog comic series, featuring the return of beloved Sonic artist Tracy Yardley. Tracy Yardley began his career in 2005 with fellow SCAD alum Nate Bowden, I believe that's his name, Bowden, on Tokyo Pop's original manga series Riding Shotgun. At the same time, he began his long run, pun intended, on the various Sonic the Hedgehog titles published by Archie Comics, alongside Ian Flynn, is currently producing art for Archie's new Cosmo series. I'm going to get to that in a bit, because the fact that Archie has been mentioned is amusing. Anyway, he has contributed to Hero Cats of Stellar City from Action Lab Entertainment, and has produced scripts and pencils for the forthcoming Galaxy Man and Cosmic Girl. Why did I say comic? Cosmic Girl. Now Tracy's back on board once again with Ian Flynn at IDW Publishing, ready for new and exciting adventures with the Blue Blur Sonic the Hedgehog. So as I said, one of the official covers for issue #1 is IDW's Sonic the Hedgehog comic series. That image, that official cover, you're seeing right there on the screen. So, so you don't need to wonder what it looks like. It's right there on the screen. Um, my first thought was, oh, it's Green Hill again. I guess it's like I said on Twitter. I'm tired of Green Hill, but I get that it's the #1 issue. I get it. It's and more than likely, it's probably not going to be something in the issue anyway. It's probably just a cover thing, which makes sense. But I mean, it is Green Hill again. Just seeing Green Hill at all, just if it weren't for the fact that we already had Mania having Green Hill, Forces having Green Hill, and just having nothing but Green Hill basically for the last few years or so. I mean, it's more so the sense of being a Sonic fan means more than likely you've seen a ton of Green Hill by now. I mean, I get it's recognizable, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, part of the reason why it's recognizable is because of how much they've been constantly using it in the last decade. So, I mean, there's a reason that it's quote unquote recognizable. Um, it's just gotten to be a little overkill with Green Hill. I don't think it would have been a big deal if Mania and Forces didn't use Green Hill, but I mean, that's just me. I did say on Twitter it was a side note, indicating that it wasn't actually make or break, and it was just something I noticed more than anything. I mean, like, just ignoring that, the art looks absolutely amazing. Like, this is technically our first look at what the art in the comics are going to be like. This is very impressive looking. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly. It's an like it's a view from above, looking down at Sonic. So we're not actually able to get a view of what Sonic actually looks like per se from like the side, which is usually how we see him. Um, but even then, like the art is absolutely gorgeous. It's better than ever, really. Um, and of course, I can't go without this mentioning that this is Tracy Yardley having drawn it, and we now know that Tracy Yardley is going to be a part of the IDW Sonic team. Um, Right now, they've confirmed, I think, just as many old returning artists as they've had new ones. Like, we haven't heard that many new artists coming back, like, or like many new additions. Like, most of the announcements so far have been people who previously worked on the comics coming back. Ian Flynn, looks like we may be seeing Tyson Hess return, being a part of the team. I don't know for sure. He only made promo art for Comic Con. It's likely that he'll probably be back if they already turned to him once. Um, there is the issue of, like, we still don't know the entire crew. We probably won't know for sure the entire crew until the comics solicitations come out, which could be in the next 24 hours minimum. But we'll see. But yep, Tracy Yardley is back. He's going to be working on the Sonic comics along with Ian Flynn, and of course the new faces like Joe Hughes that are going to be working on it, which is nice. I like that this is going to be a blend of old people, like old returning, like veterans of Sonic comics, and new faces as well. It's worth noting that at the end of the announcement they say ready for new and exciting adventures. Again, they use that word new. Like they really really want to make it clear that these are new adventures. Like this isn't like they keep making that a note. Oh yeah, and by the way, there is something else that I forgot to mention. They did actually talk to what is it? David Mariuette, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He actually answered an interesting question here, and it further tells me that I think legal issues are behind this. Like they just aren't ready to talk about it. Um, but we did get a response again related to the cast, the what the IDW Sonic cast will comprise of, and it's interesting because I'm trying to bring up that post. Here we are. It's interesting because again they didn't exactly answer it and they sort of dodged around it, but we did get a little bit more specifics on why. Um, and it is something of note. Let's see, okay, they asked. I don't know if you can answer or not. You can answer this or not, but if you reveal about Sally reappearing, is that cause a contract breach? And IDW's David Mariotte, I don't know. You get what I mean. David at IDW said, "I can tell you that Sonic the Hedgehog will be in it, but I'm afraid that's all I can say." This tells me that the exact cast is not something they clearly can't say what the cast will be exactly. Um, and that's kind of odd because it's you'd think there wouldn't be that much difficulties. We know that Tails is going to be there. We know that Amy's going to be there. We know that Knuckles is going to be there. Tails, Knuckles, Amy. More likely Shadow's going to be there. I mean, I don't see why Shadow wouldn't be there. Rouge will probably be there. Like pretty much everyone that's been in the games will more than likely be there. That said, the Freedom Fighters have appeared in the games at one point. They were in Sonic Spinball, but the issue is still if they. The issue is what exactly are they going to do here? Like clearly they aren't ready to reveal the cast, and that's kind of. It's like they know this is the main thing people want to know. It's like who's going to be in it. It's kind of weird. They're trolling with this. It's like they know that this is the announcement people want to hear an answer to. This is what they want a confirmation of, and it's like, are you for real? Like, come on, like announce the damn thing. But no, they just don't want to announce this right now, and it's kind of odd. But I want to say we will find out with the solicitations, but the thing for me is the first four issues. Who's going to be in the first four issues? Because even with the solicitations coming out, that doesn't necessarily guarantee we'll find out who the cast of characters will be. We just know we'll know Sonic is in it, Tails is in it, Amy's in it, Knuckles in it, but will that be it? Is that all they're going to start with, and then suddenly the other characters will start to come in? that's something that they just haven't been able to really address, and it's kind of annoying because again, this is the main thing people want to know. It's pretty clear that other than who exactly is going to be working on it, they want to know who's going to be in it cast wise. And although we've been getting answers with the team behind IDW Sonic and who's going to be working on it, they just haven't like, they just haven't talked about the cast. I mean, again, as I said, I guess it's understandable because again, maybe they're still sorting out some legal stuff because you know, again, a lot of the characters other than the main Sonic team, weren't exactly able to get they weren't exactly able to get off free from this stuff, and it wasn't exactly something they could just get away with, like because I can't overstate enough how much of a legal mess Archie Sonic became in the last few years, and it makes it difficult to be able to the legal quagmire that those comics became just makes it difficult to be able to figure out, okay, this character is getting in, maybe that character will be in, that character is definitely not getting in. Like Ian Flynn kind of helped out a little when he told us that his Archie Sonic create characters are not getting in, but that still leaves out, like I said, the Freedom Fighters and stuff like that. Like we still don't know what their fates are, and I'd be going back to that discussion I already had in the previous video, which, to be fair here, wouldn't really result in anything new to discuss in that front, but the video is mainly focusing on the developments that we've had since the last video, and boy, there was quite a bit of developments. Other than that, there really wasn't anything else to discuss. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, oh yeah, there is one more thing. Speaking of Archie, I forgot. I did mention this in the post, but they did mention Archie. They brought them up. I mean, and they weren't just simply like suggesting Archie. Like they outright stated Archie, that this is what Tracy Yardley, excuse me, this is what Tracy Yardley worked on previously. He worked on Archie Sonic. They were blunt about that. They were allowed to say that. And that tells me that they don't have an issue mentioning Archie, like that Archie Sonic existed. Like clearly, there's not an issue of competition and not being allowed to say who your competitors are, and stuff like that. And like they made it clear, this is what Tracy Yardley did. You may remember him. They wanted to make that clear. So they are fully aware of Archie Sonic. They're fully aware of what's going on. They know. The question is, what are they going to do about it? It's one thing to know, it's another thing to react upon that knowledge. Clearly, like, IDW is going to have boundaries, and Sega more likely has boundaries. If there's anything we know, Sega more likely has boundaries for their comics, but exactly what that entails is something I just don't know yet. None of us know yet. There's still unanswered questions. But the fact that we now know Ian Flynn is working on it, is directing it, and Tracy Yardley is going to be a returning artist, that helps. But there are still familiar faces that need to come back. I mean, there's a good handful of people that fans want to come back. The thing is, would that happen? Like, is that something that they can get away with? Because remember, most of the team that were working on Archie Sonic were freelancers. If not most of them, all of them. Like, comics are high. The thing about comics is that they're pretty free. Like, unless you have a contract for that publisher to make stuff. Otherwise, you're pretty much free to do whatever. As soon as the comics are done, like, if you're a freelancer, then you can just go on and go work on a different publisher if they just happen to get the rights. Like, it's not surprising that people like Ian and Tracy are able to just simply switch publishers for Sonic. The question is that going to apply to everyone that was formerly at Archie Sonic, and if they are actually going to be able to how many, like, what is the scope of returning people? Like how many Archie Sonic alumni are going to be like Illum are going to end up being a part of this. Like that's something we just don't know yet. What's going to be the ratio of new and returning uh, Sonic comic uh, like staff? I guess. Like who knows? But at least in the long run, we now at least have a general idea as to what IDW Sonic's art style is going to be like. A general idea, not really a specific direction, because this is just Tracy Yardley's work. We know that there's going to be other artists. We know that there's going to be, other art styles more than likely. But this is Tracy Yardley's, and it looks pretty damn good. If this is what they're targeting with the comics, this is going to look great. like, like, the artist's work is going to be superb for these comics. That's one plus that we can get now have because of just this image alone, is that we now know what direction they're going with the art. That's one thing we can breathe a sigh of relief on. But again, the cast of characters is still a thing, and the scale of the team is still not set in stone yet. We still don't have the entire team yet. So there's a lot to discuss here. This just gets more and more complicated as with each passing day. And I don't know, like, what is there to say, really? I mean, Archie Sonic's truly dead. And it's just amusing that they did talk about it. Like, they did reference it, and it's amusing. Um, but there's still people we haven't heard about yet. There's still people unaccounted for. So, we'll see. I don't expect the entirety of Archie Sonic, that team-wise, to return. And I don't even think there's going to be people who were formerly part of Archie Sonic who left before the partnership, like Archie and Sega broke up, No telling what's going to happen there. It's... God, what, like, the more I think about this, the more complicated it gets. This is just crazy. I mean, I don't even know anymore. The best thing to do is wait for the solicitations, which could easily come out in the next week. I'm growing increasingly convinced that we are very, very, very close to solicitations coming out. And this just, the fact that they have a cover art now tells me again, they are very, very close to being ready. And also Ian Flynn tweeted out something not too long ago. I don't know if I had written up about this. Did I? That is a good question. I don't really know exactly if he said anything else. I know he did respond to the news about Tracy Yardley being back. Let me see. Yeah, Ian said, very happy to welcome Tracy Yardley back to Sonic with IDW's Sonic the Hedgehog #1 this April. Let's see. Mighty Crusaders. That's probably why that Archie sent people Mighty Crusaders, because of Matt Herms and Ian Flynn. Those are two names that Sonic fans do recognize. So I guess they thought, hey, this is a comic that that Archie Sonic people have worked on. I guess that's what they were getting at with that, which is odd, but I mean, oh well. But there is something else that I'm trying to find exactly what Ian said. Where is it? This might take me a bit, but in the meantime, yeah, this comic news just gets crazy. Just crazy. What is this? Oh yeah, that's something I've already. That is something I already know. Let's see. Is that anything? No. Okay, here we go. PSA #1, not really. So he made a few PSAs. PSA #1 was just about the privacy of his Facebook account. PSA #2, I have no executive control on Sonic. Not when trades are announced, not on what aspects of the franchise I can access, not the direction of the games. I just read the comics. That's it. That's all. Full stop. Um, does that refer to the direction of the comics though? I don't. I want to say no on that. Um, Nevertheless, PSA number three is the one that actually motivated me looking for all this, where he said, I've seen some early stuff on IDW's Sonic issues 1 through 4, and oh man, you guys are in for a treat. They're looking so good. And he did hashtag knowing smile. Typically, when Ian does a hashtag knowing smile, there's a damn good reason for it. Um, it's really interesting, and I see Evan Stanley responded. Was like one of the first people to respond when A and finger guns. So I'm not sure if that's a hmm. It probably doesn't mean anything, but if it does, well, that knowing smile though is what makes me curious. Because that is what something that I really, really want to know. Like, whenever the knowing smiles come back related to Sonic, you know there's a damn good reason for it. As I said. But what exactly this entails, I guess we'll see. But if he's seen some early stuff on them. So he's seen some early stuff. So what does that entail for solicitations? To be fair, they don't come out for a few months. So to be fair, they probably have the first 4 pages. Because when I think about it, solicitations only happen for the first 4 pages or so, including the cover, right? So they wouldn't have to work on that much of the comic to have enough to warrant a solicitation. But would that entail enough? If we're hearing some early stuff and the solicitations may come out in this month, would that actually fit the time window? Worth noting that I don't actually know anything about the comics. Like I don't know anything about comic publishing. Like this is based on what I've heard from others and what people like Archie and IDW have talked about and stuff like that. I don't know. Um, I want to know what they have though. Like it's pretty clear that there's something up their sleeve that Ian really wants Sonic fans to see. What though? I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, this just gets more and more confusing because we aren't really getting the answers we need, and the ones we are kind of leading us kind of not something that we were necessarily. It's not that we were concerned about it. It's just we were already kind of feeling like that was going to be handled all right. And I feel like the news of Tracy Yardley returning just kind of enforced that more. Like we kind of had the feeling that a lot of the beloved Sonic Archie Sonic team were going to come back in some way. And then yeah, we don't know the ratio of that and how much this will entail, but I mean it's pretty clear the more beloved that person was in the Archie Sonic team, the more likely they were going to be back to work on the IDW Sonic comics. Like Ian was easily the number one person who was probably going to come back because everyone loves Ian's work on the comics, loves it. This so it was really no surprise that Ian Flynn was going to be working on the comics and directing them. Um, as for Tracy Yardley, again, likes people like Tracy's work. You know, this isn't exactly something that um, is any surprise. Like it's like that the more that person was beloved for their work on Archie Sonic, the more likely it is that they are back. But yeah, there's a lot to work on. I mean, what else is there for me to say, really? But in any case, guys, that is going to do it. I think I've pretty much covered every aspect. I've dragged this on long enough. Like I said, I ramble a lot. Um, Sort of coming up with stuff on the spot as I talk and things like that. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Wouldn't be surprised if the next video is another video of me just rambling about something. But in any case, guys, that's gonna do it for now. I will see you all next time. But for now, this is SSF signing out. Sayonara, guys.